I'm Robert Russell from Russell Fastracs. We are located at Kilmainham Wood near Kells, County Meath, and we are Ireland's independent JCB Fastrac specialists. I served my time as an agricultural mechanic and worked initially with Massey Ferguson and a lot of other brands alongside. My first introduction to Fastrac was with Macaulay Feeds, and they ran a Fastrac for 6 years, a 3155 model, and it clocked up 13,500 hours in that first 6 years. So that was my introduction to them. I sort of fell in love with them, or got some sort of an addiction or disease at that stage. We started off doing a lot of repairs on the Fastracs, probably that main dealers hadn't seen at that stage. I probably got offered more and more transmission repairs, clutch repairs, etc. And just over time I built up a huge knowledge on them. So some of the early Fastracs, the 145 in particular, were probably not the most reliable machines. Most of them that came to me arrived on a low loader, usually with a pallet or a box of pieces with them. So we put them gearboxes back together, and I learned all the nuts and bolts with the early models and took that knowledge with me onto the later models, 3185, 3155, and then the later 3190s, 3220s, 3230s, lots of them out there, lots of them very reliable, hard working machines, lots of examples, 10,000 hours plus, still earning a keep. Very popular machines, great resales on the second hand models for ones that are in good order. That's what we have here. 2170s one that's starting to shine through now as well with the 4-wheel steer. It made up for the lack of horsepower that the 2135 had. It was a good tractor, but not really capable on the road of pulling the larger loads or the heavier equipment in the field for the tillage man either. In 2001, JCB introduced a smooth shift transmission, and that was a huge leap forward in the reliability of the tractors. They put in a wet clutch instead of the traditional dry clutch, and that made for massive improvements in both the operation and the longevity of the clutches themselves. We have lots of smooth shift models with in excess of 15,000 hours, still earning or keep very capable tractors, with the 3185 in particular, where we're starting to see some of the 3220, 3230 models edging towards them sort of hours also. With the introduction of the 2155, 2170 in 2006, there was a big jump in horsepower up to 155, 170 horsepower, made for a much better, more useful machine. Also more capable on the road because they brought the top speed up from 55 on the old 2000 series up to 65 kilometers per hour. So that made for a much more useful tractor on the road also. The 4000 series Fastracs have borrowed some of the best parts of the 2000 series, i.e. the rear axle, the 4-wheel steer with all the selectable modes including crab steer. It's brilliant for anyone that's spraying in particular. It allows for perfect tram lines, no trampling of crops. It's absolutely fantastic. We have some operators that actually operate in crab steer while applying fertiliser in the springtime to allow for 4-wheel marks, to allow for the largest footprint possible on flotation tyres, and it literally leaves no marks on the ground whatsoever, so the crops come up absolutely perfect in the spring. There's no sign of any tram lines whatsoever initially on the crops. We have a lot of sprayer operators using demount, which means that the sprayer is carried on the chassis as opposed to on the 3-point linkage. So what that means is it allows for full suspension on the chassis of the tractor, which means that the sprayer itself is carried on a suspension. The one here used in this video has a 24 metre night sprayer, and it's easily demountable from the machine, so the tractor can go back to being used for very conventional work in about 5 minutes. It's as easy as removing a front loader off a tractor. It really is that simple. We've dealt with customers across the 32 counties of Ireland over the last 19 years, and now my son Caleb is getting involved in the business. Going forward, the future is very bright for Fastracs in Ireland.